Hey, this is Spanner from the Spanner Riggs Show. We're here for another exciting episode. Me and Riggs, we're ready to roll. We're doing, I know last week we talked a little sports preview. We're going to get back to that next week. But this week, we've got a couple of big announcements here. We've got we got another Minot High kid, North Dakota kid, going to university. We're going to talk a little Jamestown soccer with a multi-state champion there from Minot. And we got a huge announcement tonight. We have a huge announcement. One of the top kids in North Dakota will be announcing where they're going to school. Hey, here we go. We're on the Spanner Riggs Show here. And we're continuing a little trend here. North Dakota kids going off to universities playing collegiate sports. We're here with the Minot Majets. They like to call themselves Titletown. Erin did her part for Titletown. Aaron Oster is now a Jimmy, and she's like a week away from being a Jimmy. So her days as a Majet are coming to an end. I guess she'll always be alumni, right?
Yep.
So, Erin, you're on your way to Jamestown. Tell us how that feels.
It's kind of surreal, I guess. I feel like I never thought it was going to come, but here it is. It's just over a week away.
So tell us a little bit about, kind of the theme that we've been doing here on the Spanner Riggs Show is getting, athletes from high school and then seeing them get onto the next level. We like to see those stories and highlight them a little bit too as well. Walk us through why Jamestown? Was it something about their program, their coaching, facilities, you name it, but explain us the process of what led you to Jamestown.
Yeah, so I went on a couple college tours, and out of like the campus feel, Jamestown definitely had the best campus feel. And when I went and visited, I could actually do a practice with the girls, so I actually got to play with them and kind of see how everything fit together, how they were as a team. And so that definitely helped that I could kind of see what I would be walking into.
Nice. So you're playing for the legendary Coach Becker there. Tell us how that feels there, and what's your relationship with him like so far?
Yeah. So I had like a phone call with him before I went to campus and everything, and he was super easy to talk to. Answered all my questions openly and honestly, and like the day I was there, he was open and honest about everything, and I got to see him coach. I liked how he coached, and so now here we are.
So, obviously there's no secret do we call it a dynasty with Majet soccer? Is that
Haven't lost since 2019.
I mean, it's a pretty long time, but tell us a little bit about your experience with Minot High. Just so much success combined with so much expectations. I mean, we talk about targets on your back. You're basically probably your entire career, but tell us a little bit about what it was like, playing for the Majets and all the success that you guys had and all the expectations and pressure that went with it.
Yeah. So when we first started, like the team had been to a state championship one time when a bunch of like us seniors had started like 8th grade, 7th grade year. So it was really kind of like we didn't have much pressure because there wasn't anything really to live up to because there hadn't been a state championship. So it was kind of nice that like when we were so young, we didn't have any expectations to like continue what the past groups had done, and we could just kind of build our own legacy and not have to worry about being in anybody else's shadows or anything.
Real quick question. I'll put you on the spot here. And, we're not going to let you go without a tough question, right?
Yeah.
Is it a dynasty or is it a senior class?
Oof.
I think at this point, it's definitely a dynasty because even this year, well, we did have so many seniors. I mean, 7 of us. Now that there's all these younger girls, I think we had 11 or 12 middle schoolers on our varsity roster. And I think that they're definitely going to continue everything that we worked for so far, and that maybe they won't be as good of a season this year because they are still so young, but I think the next couple of years they're going to be super good still.
It's a fair point. I don't think they have to win the state championship next year, but they would have to win again for it to be a dynasty.
For sure. And I mean, of course, now the pressure's on, right? Even though everybody realizes that, like she said, that they'll, lose lose a large.
Lose 7.
You know, that's
They lose 7.
And you know, as much as there's, you know, I've coached some later freshmen that were elite, and I'm sure you did too at the college level. There's just something about seniors that you just get the absolute most out of, you know, the last hurrah type of thing, that they may not be as talented sometimes as somebody maybe younger, but they're just so much more heart, which is a big part of it too. But tell us a little about school. That's obviously a big part of the next phase. What is your plan for school? Do you have a degree or a program you're leaning to, or you're going to go in and plan to take generals and see how it goes? But what's your academic plan for the future?
Right now, I'm planning on a bachelor's in science, and then Jamestown has like a direct entry program into physical therapy. So it's like a pre-physical therapy course, and then into that eventually.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good, because inevitably I'm going to need physical therapy as I get older, because, you know, I'm not as old as you, but you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, right.
Last question for you. You know, you've been to Chicago, and you've been to Vegas, and you've been all over with your club team, traveling to all these big tournaments and USA Cup, and played against teams from other countries. You know, how much did that prepare you guys for your state championship runs and your undefeated run, and how much did that prepare? Do you think that's going to prepare you for your Jamestown runs? And do you expect to win going into Jamestown like you did at Minot? Kind of
So those tournaments, they definitely prepared us for like faster speed of play, because we did those when we were a lot younger, and seeing like the girls from Arizona, whatever, all these different states, and how much faster they were than Minot, as young of a club as we were, it was really eye-opening, and it definitely showed all of us that we had to work a lot harder, which then prepared us for high school, where we had a lot more effort and we put in a lot of time on the ball and everything just to improve our game. And then in college, it's going to be a lot of the same thing. We're going to have to do, I think, like the same adjustments that we did before, where we've seen like faster levels of play, like when we scrimmaged MSU last year as a club, and now it's going to be adapting to that.
Wow, that's
nice.
Awesome.
Well, Erin, we wish you luck. Hopefully, I can catch a game, tie it into Spinner on the road there this fall, and you know, see how that goes. Hopefully, you're on the main roster there. I know Jamestown kind of has some of the kids play both rosters. You know, they got the kind of the second team. So, whichever side you're on, let me know. That way, I can make it to a game.
Sounds good. Thank you.
It's awesome. Thanks for coming
Aaron.
on, dude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, we're here on the high school segment for Spanner Rig Show. We've got DLB, the Carson Yale, multi-sport star, and we saw him at state baseball just blow away the competition. You guys didn't have enough arms after you to run that at the state tournament, but you're here. You're going to sit out football this year, and you're concentrating on basketball. But here we go, Carson. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here.
Well, it's exciting, man. You know, that's you know, certainly takes some dedication and preparation. You know, to put your focus on your main sport of basketball, which, you know, clearly there's going to be options for you, and we'll touch on a little bit too. But let's not kid ourselves. I'm assuming there was quite a few different schools that had made some phone calls. Just walk us through, you know, basically the last year or so here on how you were able to narrow in on what your focus is. You know, obviously going basketball, you know, focus, but also what made you lead to what eventually will be your choice in school. But walk us through how this process has been for the last year or longer.
You know, it started last year. I started playing AAU with the North Dakota Phenom, and they did a really great job of putting us in some good positions to get in front of coaches, get in front of schools, and I'm really appreciative of that. And, you know, it went well for most of us on the team, and I'm glad that I was able to put a good foot forward and get some college interest. It started a little bit last summer. I was talking to a few schools, and I enjoyed just reaching out to coaches and coaches calling me and texting me and inviting for junior days and stuff. You know, kind of later in the AAU season, we went down to Vegas. We won a big tournament that kind of got some of our names out there on the team and put ourselves out there a little bit more for recruiting wise, and then kind of went into football. Unfortunately, I was injured the first game and had surgery a few weeks later. Had to sit out and watch my team play, which was really hard, and then had to sit and go watch basketball practice every day, which is just kind of a hard thing for a 17-year-old kid to do when all he wants to do is go play with his buddies and try and win some games. But it's been a fun process. I've enjoyed it, and I'm very thankful for all the coaches that have believed in me to want me to be a part of their program. I'm very thankful for it.
So you made a decision. How about telling us right now? I know you're trying to wait or whatever. I mean, why don't you reveal it? Let's go.
Absolutely.
What do you got? You don't have to, but if you want to, go ahead.
I mean, so after my senior year of high school, I plan to join the Beavers at Minot State University. I'm going to stay home. Rep Minot.
Boom!
Oh,
Beaver time. I like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's keep digging. What's it about the Beavers? Was it the program? Was it head coach Merkin?
Location?
Like close to home. Like what was is there like an area or two that really kind of honed in on why you wanted to join the Beavers?
Merkin was kind of the first coach that seemed serious about me. They've been just opening me with welcome arms ever since I can remember. I went and played open gym with the guys. I mean, when I was a freshman in high school, they invited me out to play and kind of know the guys, and it's just kind of the hometown feeling. Get to have family come and watch the games. That's not something that kids get to do very often. Just very fortunate as a kid from North Dakota. I mean, not many kids get a chance to do what I'm going to do, and I'm very thankful for it. So Coach Merkin just being a big role in that, and then as well as just knowing the guys, and then the guys kind of welcomed me with open arms as well. And that kind of made me feel at home, and I was able to make my decision earlier than most, and I'm happy with it.
We've talked to a few kids that have chose other places, Northern and Moorhead and whatnot on here, and the two of us, we're going to kind of root for those Western schools, and we're talking in the Division II realm. Talk to us about Mary. Did Mary have interest, and did you have interest there? And
yeah, I ended up getting an official offer from Mary. They treated me well, and I like their coaching staff. They did good things, but mine just kind of seemed like the right fit for me. Nothing against Mary. I enjoyed those guys, but that's an hour and a half down the road, and I'm not super close with any of the guys on the team, or I wasn't really in with them yet. I feel like Minot did a great job of getting me kind of in their system and made me feel like I was really wanted there. So that's kind of what made me choose Minot.
Are you going to Vegas again this weekend to play?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I love Vegas. You like Vegas?
I love Vegas.
So can I give you some advice there on, I mean, it's not 21, so we can just keep it a normal advice, but have you been to Tacos Gordo on the Strip?
No, I have not. Tacos Gordo. I might have to check it out.
Tacos Gordo. You got to go to Tacos Gordo.
What, he's going to eat that, and then all of a sudden he's going to be so bloated, he's going to be absolutely...
They're little tacos, like this big,
dead weight on the floor,
Hey, I gave you advice on it. At least I got to tell you this, how you do it. It's like a 6-block wait to get in. It's amazing. So
just
sweat when you get in there,
10-degree heat.
Just know this. Just know this. That you got to get in line for the particular meat you want. So if you want carne asada, that's what the line you should get in. You got to get in the carne asada line. If you get in the wrong line, you're stuck with like pork or something. I don't know. But Tacos Gordo, that's my advice for you. Are you going to pitch next year for DLB?
Yes. We're planning to make another deep run. It was nice the first year in a few years of program history that we had gotten to the state tournament. I believe it was 2016 or 17 was the last time they were back there, and I think Renville took it the next few years, and we were able to get him back. So that was a good feeling. Hoping to go back my last year, and the state tournament's in Minot, so looking forward to get to that and have some hometown fans come out. That'd be fun.
I mean, it's a question I like to ask. DLB, they're in Region 6, right? You're in Region 6 for basketball, like with with Ryan and stuff. What's it going to take for DLB to make a run? I mean, is it something that you guys got to be like absolutely, on fire offensively, or do you gotta, play well defensively? You gotta be, strong inside the paint. What is it going to take for you guys to have success this year? And is it maybe some young guys are going to have to elevate to play well, or is it some of you guys that are going to be seniors that are just going to have to play, out of this world? But what's it going to take for DLB to have a really good season this year?
We got myself and then another senior in Rylan Olson. He had a great year this year. We lost a lot of close games last year as a young team. We were starting a couple sophomores and then just one junior. So we had a young squad last year. We were in a lot of games, didn't end up winning most of them, but looking to kind of turn the corner and just finish those games out this year. I don't think it's going to take a miracle for us to do anything. I think we're going to compete, and we're going to look to be a team that other teams don't want to play in Region 6. And that's kind of our plan going into it. We've had a great summer in team camps. We've been very successful, and we're looking forward to a big year.
Can you get over Ryan? I mean, Ryan's got everyone back.
I mean, I'm definitely not one to doubt us, and I definitely do think that we can take down Ryan. It's gonna be a dogfight. Hopefully, we get to play him 3 times, regular season. Want to play him in the district championship, and that's honestly the team that I want to see in the Region 6 championship. I wouldn't rather be playing anyone else. Those are the guys that I've wanted to play ever since I hurt my knee. I mean, it was hard to watch my guys play against him because that's always the one that you kind of circle on the calendar. So that's a team that I want to play, and I definitely do think that we can take them down. It's going to be a dogfight either way. Each team are going to have to play a good game if they want to come out on top.
That's a pretty darn good answer, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
But and it was, and that we talked about that when we were doing those shows about kind of when your recaps in Region 6. It's a gauntlet to get through that region.
It
I
is.
mean, you think about
other than Region 1,
yeah,
right? Region 1 was tougher than Region 6.
Yep.
When you had Central Cass and you had Enderlin and you had Kindred.
Grueling just to get out of your first game.
And then they have the extra tournament too
yes.
with the district. Let me ask you this one. Kindred lost a ton. Peralta and obviously Olson and Central Cass lost a bunch. Enderlin lost everything. Four Winds lost their best 2 players. Shiloh lost their best 2 players. So is the winner of DLB, and Velva lost Chadwick, right? Mm-hmm. So is the winner of DLB and Orion the favorite to win state? And I'm going to piggyback another little question. I always like this 2-parters.
Yep.
Does DLB and Ryan beating up on each other in the gauntlet of Region 6 keep them, the region winner, from being the number 1 seed? So, can Region 6 get to the number 1 seed? Because I think the best team is in Region 6. I don't know which one it is, but, what's your thoughts on that?
Definitely it's going to come down to who can stay healthy throughout the year for sure. That's the first thing. If you don't got all your pieces, fitting together, that's going to be a problem for either team. If that happens, I'd be super unfortunate. You never want to see something like that, especially from a personal experience. It's hard for a kid to deal with. But I think Region 6 has got some tough teams compared to a couple of regions around. Just looking at going forward, I think Region 6 is going to be good. It's going to be a dogfight. And then hopefully whoever comes out, say that, the Lakers didn't happen to win it. I wouldn't like to see the Ryan Lions or whoever came out of Region 6 go far in the state tournament, but I think that's going to be the case for whoever comes out of Region 6, and I'm looking forward to it.
So Surrey lost Mayo and Kikoa, right? So it'll be interesting.
Mayo will be a senior.
Oh yeah, Mayo will be a senior. Sorry, Foster's coming back too at rugby too.
What about our Redeemers?
Yep. They lost Hendrickson. They lost a lot. I think that they had some really good freshmen though. So I think that our Redeemers will be on the rise in like a year or two. So it's going to be an interesting year. I'll give you one more to look down the road at. 4 Winds lost in the state semifinals 2 years ago to Kindred, and they lost and they took 3rd or 4th place or whatever. But they lost 4 starting seniors, and then came all the way back and ran the table this next year, and now they're losing a bunch again. Is their next wave, and Coach Rick over there, are they gonna be a force to be reckoned with? Are they coming out, or you think they're gonna drop off?
That's very possible. They've they've always been one of those teams, when you think about it, they bounce back and bring back, guys that weren't even in the starting lineup or getting minutes. They come back and you see them at the state tournament the next year. That's just kind of what goes on there. And they've obviously built a great culture there, and they're doing something right. So, that's very possible for them to bring up some young guys and still be competing with the best teams in the state. That's very possible.
It's a good question. I mean, I think probably every year, there is a team or two that you think is going to have a down year, and yeah, you don't know what their freshmen or sophomores how they're going to elevate, and they can kind of be a bit of a dark horse sometimes too as well. But
he does such a great job, and he travels all over the country.
But
but I am pumped that you're going to be a Beaver. I'm pumped to go to the Dome and watch games. I'm super excited to watch you there. Him and I have been talking about all these Class B kids that are great athletes, and you've had a great experience with your AAU team to get as skilled as you have. But there's a lot of North Dakota Class B kids that are great athletes that maybe aren't quite as skilled yet, that could definitely be a 4-year, contributor to some of these schools. And, I'm just excited that, one of the top kids in North Dakota is staying home to one of the North Dakota schools. We've done a whole summer series on that. And I look forward to watching you play in college. I'm super pumped, and I think it's awesome. And we really thank you for revealing it here on our show. That was a cool surprise.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, thanks, Carson.
I'd just like to give a quick special shout out to my parents, my coaches. Jordan Maurer did a great job with the Phenom program, my friends. Me and Mike go to the gym all the time. It's something that we don't have to do, but we get it done, and it's not something that most kids are willing to do. So I want to thank Mike for that. I just want to thank my family again, every coach that's ever coached me, and this is a special thing.
Wow, he's very well spoken. I tell you, you know what? Minot State, in our experience, you highlight obviously programs with wins and losses. There's no doubt about it. But you want your athletes to be, well spoken, out in the community, very good on social media, all those types of things. So I feel like that's going to be a big asset for the program, especially when it gets to promotional time and you guys getting ready, because it seems like Merkin's got that team always going every year. Every year there's always that little expectation that Minot State men's basketball now has arrived. That wasn't the case probably 10 years ago, but it is now, which is exciting. And I'm assuming that's contributed to probably your, Carson making that decision as well.
For sure.
You got to feel pretty good about Minot has really, as an athletic department, but at Merck, they haven't been real portal guys. They've tended to recruit guys and develop their own guys, and you've seen that with, obviously they got the 2 Ryan kids on there now, and they had Tyler Rudolph and, Hedberg and Bull, but, that's got to feel pretty good that they're probably going to invest all 4 years into you.
For sure.
Perfect.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Carson.
No problem. Thank you.
Another great episode here on the Spainer and Riggs podcast. It was exciting. I love hearing these special announcements. We've talked about it for a while, of the theme we've had with our student athletes going on to the next level. We like to hear those stories, and we definitely want to follow them as well. We want to hear from you. We want to get more athletes. We're excited to bring them onto our show. We want to make sure that you follow all of our social media platforms to stay tuned on what's going on. We got some pretty cool contests, especially with Spainer and his Bavara Workout Warriors and all that good stuff. Make sure you follow all of our social media networks to make sure that you follow for what we got going on. That was another great episode on the Spainer and Riggs podcast, brought to you by the Dakota Inn.